Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Village Board meeting of July 22nd. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, Ms. Flores. Here. 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 Representing staff this evening, to my left, our village manager, Napoleon Haney. To my right, our village attorney, Chris Cummings. To the audience's right, our police chief, Denise McGrath, fire chief, Bob Grabowski, finance director, Amy Zukowski, assistant director of economic and community development director, Noah Schumer, public works director, Josh Berman, and assistant village manager, Terrence Aqua. The minutes of July 8th, any additions or corrections? Trustee Harris-Jones. Trustee Willis. Trustee Heiferman. Trustee Simpson.
No, sir.
Trustee Mason.
No, sir.
Trustee Roman. May I have a motion to approve the minutes, please?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved by Trustee Mason, seconded by Trustee Willis. Was it Willis? Oh, Heiferman. Sounded like Willis. Seconded by Trustee Heiferman. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris-Jones. Aye. Trustee Willis. Aye. Trustee Heiferman. Aye. Trustee Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Roman. Aye.
The minutes are approved. The claims list in the amount of $822,531.27. Comments or corrections? Trustee Harris-Jones. Trustee Willis.
My questions were answered.
Trustee Heiferman. Trustee Simpson.
All questions answered, sir.
Trustee Mason.
No, sir.
Trustee Roman.
Nothing from me.
May I have a motion to approve the claims list, please?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Trustee Willis, seconded by Trustee Roman. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris-Jones. Aye. Trustee Willis. Aye. Trustee Heiferman.
Aye.
Trustee Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Roman. Aye.
The claims list is approved. Of that $822,000 claims list, two items comprise the majority of that list. Our payment to the City of Chicago Heights for water was $325,000, and one month's payment to Thorn Creek Sanitary District was $90,000. That amounted to $415,000, or 50% of that claims list. Hear from the audience. If anyone in the audience would like to address the board on any subject not on the agenda, please raise your hand. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Amy Crump. I'm a Homewood resident, and I'm here to talk about the fact that yesterday, in a drive-by shooting, a bullet struck my house while my husband and daughter were in the building. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but I do think that there is a growing pattern that we're seeing on this street. This is the third official shooting in my neighborhood since Easter. The fourth one, it wasn't counted as an official because no shells were found, but there were in fact shots fired. And the first one, and the other one that involved a house was at Tracy Moxley's house, and the bullets did penetrate the building. One of them came a few inches away from the pillow where her college-age daughter usually sleeps. She was away at college, thank goodness. The other bullet came into the bedroom where Tracy Moxley and her husband sleep and did not strike either one of them. Now, the shooting at Tracy's house was actually at 5:30 in the evening. The shooting, or in the morning, the shooting yesterday was in broad daylight at about 5:30 in the afternoon. This is on Olive Road, people. Olive Road, less than 2 blocks from James Hart Middle School. All right. children use that street to walk to school. As a matter of fact, my husband saw a child on the street retrieving a basketball only a few minutes after the shooting yesterday. We don't know what the source is, but the neighbors have not just sat around on our hands. Since April, thanks to the effort of Tracy and Peggy, whose name went right out of my head as soon as I tried to say it. They have formed a neighborhood watch, and we are working with the police. Chief has been very accommodating. There are 3 things that I would like to know tonight, if possible. Number 1, we are asking for a dedicated officer to liaison with the neighborhood watch neighborhood watch group. Right now, the chief has offered, our next meeting is next Monday night, and she's offered to have someone there as long as they're not on a call, but we'd really like to have a dedicated police officer who we can call and who will come to our meetings. The second thing I want to know is, will the information about the shell casings be released as far as whether the 2 shootings that took place at houses match? So I just think that it would be good to know if we're dealing with the same gun or if these are 2 individual incidents. And the third thing I wanted, gosh darn it, senior
write 'em down.
citizens are, what was the third thing? Oh, it was about security cameras. Okay, so my house did not have a security camera. It will be getting one as soon as I possibly can get one. I've already made an appointment with an expert to come to my house and talk to me about this. But I'm just wondering because, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Tracy, but it seemed like there wasn't enough footage from the shooting at your house with the neighborhood, the residents. And so since this is all residential, that puts the burden on the people who live there in the neighborhood to come up with high quality security cameras that are going to help the police in their investigation. And I'm just wondering, number 1, if there's any advice from the police department about what kind of cameras we should get that would help you in your investigation. And number 2, is there any possibility with all the micro technology that's out there now and the fact that this is apparently Olive Road has become some sort of hot spot to even temporarily post, have the police put cameras like on power poles or, telephone poles or something for a while to see if they can catch any action that's going on. So those are all my questions.
Okay, I'm sure your other neighbors want to speak.
Yeah.
And we'll let the chief address it once they're all finished.
Okay, sorry. I went over.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. My name's Maggie Goslin, resident at 1229 Hillview Road. These are my 2 sons, who you've met before. And they're one of their friends. So yesterday, we were outside and the boys were getting ready to ride their bikes over to Isaac and go fishing. And I'm out there with them. And we hear pop, 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 pop. And they look at me and they say, "Those are fireworks, Mom." And I say, "You're right, they're not. So don't go in that direction because we know that that's where the gunshots were coming from. And it's not the first time that they've come in this area. The school was on a lockdown last school year. It was a soft lockdown, but it was a lockdown. In daylight during school hours. And then my kids could have been shot by a stray bullet had they left 5 minutes sooner to do something. Why you? I'm sorry, I can't hold it. That's wholesome. That's fishing in our community. And I want to know what's being done because this is not a one-time occurrence. This is the 4th time that I'm aware of. And I know that there was a community meeting I don't know what the outcome of that meeting was, but I'm afraid for my children. And now they're afraid to ride their bikes to the pool or to their friend's house. He lives a block away from where these gunshots, these repeat offenses are happening. What are you gonna do to make it safe? This is home sweet Homewood. And I'm afraid that my children are gonna get shot and killed. So I need to know what's gonna happen. Thank you.
Can I say something too?
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Austin Gaussen, and I live in the same household as my mom. But there was another case when I was at Isaac. This was in like April. And then I was with my dad fishing with a couple of my friends, and then we got a notification on my dad's phone, and it said that there was somebody just rolling around with the shotgun on one of my friend's blocks, and that scared me because I didn't know. Stop laughing at me. And it really did scare me because I just didn't know if my friends were gonna get hurt, and I didn't want them to get hurt. Stop laughing at me. And it's like really sad because well, my mom said this is home sweet home, but we shouldn't have to worry about shootings and stuff. And there was another incident, my friend named Johnny, he had a bullet go into his house and he had to deal with like all of that type of stuff. And I just didn't want him to like be scared, so he slept over at my house that day. That's all I had to say.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address? Yes, ma'am. Come right up.
Good evening, and nice to see all of you. I was saying to them, the last time I saw you folks, you were running for office, and we were over at the Science Center. So it was a lovely day. Today, my name is Peggy Childs. Today, every day, my name is Peggy Childs. But I have lived here for 40 years, and I picked Homewood because of what we just said, home sweet home. It represents good education. We have wonderful park districts. The community is friendly, it's welcoming. We love our events, our multicultural commitment to really do things right and to be progressive and make differences in people's lives. So I work here, I live here, I've raised my children here. So as we shared, I live next door to Tracy. And so, as I said, we treasure the community spirit of Homewood. I mean, it's a community. You really feel it wherever you go. And I see heads nodding, and that's what this young woman and these children were talking about. I also believe that Homewood, because it's a community, we solve problems together, and we have a problem. We have brought together 50 neighbors who we're calling Neighbors of Isaac Walton South, and that includes Olive, Hickory, and Elder. And we are ready and willing to work with our local government and with our police team. We've met with village leadership at James Hart. Many of you were there. Napoleon was there, Mayor was there. And we've met with, we visited with Kelly Strayer. We asked for a visitor, or we asked for a liaison to come to our meeting June 28th. And she said she could maybe designate a patrol person, but she was very kind. We met with one of your sergeants. We met with, at the village meeting that we had at James Hart, Napoleon, Eric, someone recommended that we talk to Les Rogers from Flossmoor, and they run a very strong neighborhood watch program. So Les came and gave us a presentation on how they're doing the neighborhood watch program. It was very impressive and helped give us some guidance. He said it was very important that we have a dedicated liaison from the police department, that is critical. And so we are making a formal request that you assign a police or a detective liaison to our neighborhood group to help us be safer, to better communicate, to collaborate. We're not asking for budget, we're not asking for a no program, we're asking for a partnership. A liaison could join us for a half an hour a month. we're meeting regularly, but we thought he would join us, or she would join us once a month to share updates, to help us prevent crimes. One of the things that Les Rogers talked about was to ask the liaison to train us in observation, that as a support, being 50 pair of eyes and ears and networks, that we can get information. But he pointed out, you do not want to be out there telling cars they need to move or talk, and he said, you need to be trained so that you can really help be an arm for the police that's effective and not, that's supporting you. So we love our village. We want to protect it, and we're ready to do our part. So we thank you for your time. We thank you for your public service. And we know we all love Homewood. And those kids, they break my heart that you have to share those thoughts. So we've had 4 incidents since Easter, and that needs to stop. So we're here to help that happen, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to, ma'am?
I'm sorry,
Is there anyone else who would like to address the board this evening?
I was.
Go right ahead.
Okay, excuse me. I was at another meeting, and I'm sorry, I'm always on time. But please understand, this is very difficult. When a topic like this comes to approach a very wonderful church event at 6:30 in the morning and everybody's talking about it, we realize one thing. You can't have 4 shootings in a residential area. When we're talking a residential area, we're not talking inner city Chicago, we're not talking crime, we're talking Olive Road. We're talking those wonderful children are gonna be walking down those streets in about 3 weeks. I personally think that there should be a squad car that you could put there and just deterrent, and then either cameras for people to watch, because this has to stop before somebody gets hurt. These are our children, everybody's children. The right of the children and the parents, their children need to be safe. And 4 shots in a very short period of time is unacceptable. That was the first thing. Second thing, when I asked you 2 months ago to put some articles in the paper about your TIFT articles, you did it briefly. But I would like you to do one thing. Keep it up before you vote on this TIF. And I'd also like, on my education, my training and expertise, I would like an independent appraiser to go appraise that property, because this person that you have working for you is not gonna finish the project. He doesn't care about the plumbing, he doesn't care about the electricity. He's gonna start something and go to 17 other projects. 17, yes, he's got a number of starting things and not finishing it. He's also not going to be responsible for what he does. It's going to go back to the village of Homewood. So you need to actively get somebody involved that's a fair and equal person that will appraise this property. We're not giving things away. Everybody works very hard. I've helped several seniors with their tax bill doing whatever to get their taxes down. And it's absolutely ridiculous when you're giving money to this businessman that could care less about Homewood. And I thank you for this opportunity to speak to you, but we all represent Homewood, because the way Homewood goes, the whole South Side is gonna go. And nobody wants to go to church at 6:30 in the morning and feel that 4 shots were thrown through somebody's window when I was on Olive Road, and it's the most quiet, wonderful street. And there's a gym there, and there's children going to school. So think, you've got police cars that could be ready, you've got cameras to be viewed, and you've got policemen that could watch, and bicycles. And I thank you for this time. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the board this evening? If not, I'm sorry. Mr. Aqua?
Good evening, members of the board. I'm here today to talk about a potential monument sign on the corner of 174th and Halsted. And so a couple months ago, we approached View Chicago about some bus shelters. And during that conversation was brought up the potential partnership about doing some advertising and some, land monument signs. And so during that, we went back and forth with the company. They did some outreach to the adjacent company that owned the property. And today we have Mr. Gray Million to talk about that. Thank you.
Thank you all for inviting me in. As Taryn said, my name is Gray Megan. My company is View Outdoor. And as he mentioned, we currently operate the transit shelters that service space stations throughout Homewood. And in addition to operating transit shelters, we also operate outdoor advertising signs around Chicago, the Chicago suburbs, and into southern Wisconsin. So yeah, we were introduced through the transit shelter relationship, and have, over the past year or so, discussed the idea of possibly locating, they're called landmark signs or community messaging signs, at the northeast corner of 175th and Halsted. So the sign that we've discussed, at least to date, is the size and exact design is all fluid and open to input from the village. But the sign would be a digital messaging board located at the northeast corner of that intersection. The idea with these signs is, in addition to advertising local businesses, the village has full access to free messaging on the board. So any unused advertising space on that sign is given to the city to use for its various purposes. So that gets into the, sort of the benefits of what we see as these with these signs. And if you could just flip to the next one, or someone, thank you. So as I mentioned, yeah, the village would have access to any unused messaging on the space, which they can promote community initiatives, they can promote community meetings. There are automated systems that it can engage integrated public safety alerts. So if there are weather messages or other public safety messages, those can be communicated on the sign. In addition to, community or charitable initiatives, we've seen businesses that want to use these to promote, business development initiatives to try to attract new businesses to the city. So those are all the ways that the city can use the village can use the sign for its own purposes. And then if you flip to the next slide, it functions as a billboard, to some degree, in that it advertises, local and regional businesses. Through the bus shelter company, we work with many of those businesses already. Chevy of Homewood is our biggest client in this area, so that might be representative of the type of advertiser that would want to utilize this space. And so we find that outdoor advertising is very effective for local businesses, and when those companies can drive sales, they can drive sales revenue to the village. Flip to the next one. The prospective site, and this is just a possible, but it's probably the most likely site that we're looking at, like as I mentioned, is at the northeast corner of that intersection. The area we find is fairly conducive to this type of use. It's a heavily trafficked street. It's a busy intersection with no residential nearby. I looked today, and the nearest residential use is almost 1,000 feet away. So we're not worried about, light pollution or anything like that. Most of the surrounding uses are, commercial, and the property itself is zoned for heavy industrial use. Flip to the next one. We've been having this conversation with the village for, more or less a year, so we're, aware of some of your concerns. In every community we go into, we're very thoughtful about the content that we put on our signs. We don't advertise for any adult-oriented businesses. I think cannabis dispensaries had come up specifically, and the village will have full authority to prohibit any types of businesses that they don't want on this sign. So nothing will be up there without the village's approval, essentially. So that's the content. In terms of the design, we've proposed a sign which was kind of depicted throughout. But that first drawing is a little bit different if you flip to the next one. That's just a proposed idea for a possible sign, but open to the village's input on everything from the design to the location to the content. So with that in mind, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Do you have that sign in Hazel Crest on 175th and Kedzie?
We do not, no.
But yours would be similar to that?
Yeah, it would be similar. And actually, I got to think that without knowing the exact sign off the top of my head, I'd want to make sure, but it would be a digital sign with a monument base, and I believe that sign is.
The monument base is very nice. I've been on this board a long time, and we've never allowed billboards in the village of Homewood. To me, this is just a miniature billboard. I don't see it at all. It's in a location on the edge of town. You talk about a message board. That's a highly transit area. Very few Homewood residents are going north of 175th Street unless they're going on the toll road. I just don't see it. I personally don't care for it. I'm sorry. Comments or questions from anyone in the audience? Yes, ma'am.
Amy Crump, Homewood. How much does this sign going to cost?
Well, the sign would be, wouldn't cost the village anything. We would provide the full, if we were to do it, provide the full, cost of the construction and installation. Depending on the size, a sign like this could cost $150,000 to $250,000, but not to the village.
I agree that the location is poor one if you're trying to message people in Homewood. Also, I'm concerned about light pollution, adding to light pollution. And also, you said that the village would have any unavailable advertising space available so that they could use it. But the nature of that sign is that you're selling all the spaces. So I'm kind of like, even if we did think it was a good idea, how much would the village actually have?
Yeah, just industry standards, a sign like this has 8 available slots. It's likely that if you have 60% occupancy, that's generally good for a sign like this, which means that somewhere around 3 to 4 slots might be available as unused at any given time.
Any other comments or questions? Yes, sir?
Yeah, Chris Ballard, I live in Holland. So if the village is not being charged for putting up the sign, I assume that the rationale for putting up the sign from their perspective is to sell the ad space, right?
Correct, yep.
Okay, and only a limited amount of that ad space would go to Holland.
It would be any unused, but yeah, it would not be dedicated solely for the village. But we talked about both two structures, one where any unused space is automatically allotted to the village, or possibly just securing at least one space at any given time, and then also any unused. Yeah.
With all due respect, you're the one that's going to gain from this, not the village. One sign per week is, or one sign forever is not a lot of money. You didn't state how much you're going to give Homewood, but you're the one that's gonna be making the money. Yes, you're gonna put out $180,000, but you're going to be selling spaces that you're gonna be making money. You're really not thinking of Homewood. You're giving them only 3 spaces. I'm sorry to say, I don't think it's a good idea, but you have to decide on it, but it's not fair for the people of Homewood. You're making them treated as second-class citizens by only giving them 3 spaces. I'm sorry.
Is there anyone else who would like to comment? If not, Trustee Harris-Jones.
Thanks for your presentation. Appreciate it.
Trustee Willis.
Never quite been a fan of those things.
Trustee Eifram.
I'm not in favor of additional distractions, and it really goes against what our sign ordinance is. It doesn't make sense for us.
Trustee Simpson.
I would be interested in hearing about the access that the village and public safety would have to, like, you said they had access to emergency messaging. How is that though? Is it immediate? Do we call somebody? Like if the chief had an incident, like the unfortunate incident we're discussing tonight, could she immediately get on there and put it on there and that would be on?
Yes, we can allow that access to an authorized user. So typically, where we've done this with other signs, it's emailed to us, and then we create that message and upload it as kind of quickly as possible. There needed to be a quicker upload. We've looked at doing like an authorized user who can, just has their own login and can immediately upload something.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Trustee Mason.
I can appreciate the opportunity for our local businesses to purchase advertising there. I just don't feel that a sign like that fits the character of our community. And so, yeah, I'm not in favor of it.
Trustee Roman.
Well, I think I have the unpopular opinion here, because I think that it could benefit our residents. I would actually like to see an example of exactly what it would look like. Although it sounds like this probably won't happen, but I do think that we recently had an event in our community where, on social media, there was a large thread that went crazy, saying that people were not aware of one of our biggest events in town when we advertised it the same way that we do all the time. And I joked with staff and said, well, apparently you're gonna have to get a blimp next time so that people know about the event. And this would help with getting advertising for our events, advertising for our business. But I am only envisioning like Vegas style signs, so I would have to see, and that obviously doesn't fit the vibe of our community. But like I said, I think I have the unpopular opinion. So
No,
that's my thoughts.
I definitely understand that. I do think that advertisers, place a value on that type of exposure, and if, communities can find a way to use, to leverage that value, if it's offered, hopefully, there's value in that.
Okay, with all that being said, let's get a consensus to assist this gentleman. In favor of this sign, or yes or no? Trustee Willis? Trustee Hafer? Trustee Simpson?
No, sir.
Trustee Mason?
Well, I would have liked to hear more, but, so I'll say yes.
Okay. The consensus is no.
Great, appreciate your
Okay,
time.
thank you for your time.
Yep.
Ms. Flores, the omnibus vote.
We ask the board to consider a motion to pass, approve, authorize, accept, or award the following items. To approve a budget amendment of $90,000 to water sewer fund and accept the proposal from Bergen County of Chicago for professional engineering services in an amount not to exceed $90,000 to assist the village of Home with the design and bidding of lead service line replacement fiscal year 2026 in accordance with the United States Environmental Protection Agency and Illinois Environmental Protection Agency requirements. To authorize the village president to sign a letter of intent between the village of Homewood and the American Dance Center to complete a due diligence period to perform the necessary analysis and evaluation of the property at 1933 Brick Road, Homewood, with the intent of negotiating a purchase and sale agreement with the owner. Authorize the village president to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the Illinois Department of Health Care and Family Services for reimbursement of unrecovered costs of ambulance transport to the Ground Emergency Medical Transportation Program. Authorize the village president to enter into agreement with the Illinois Department of Transportation supporting the improvement of existing signalized intersection of Regal Road to Holbrook Road for the modernization of traffic lights, traffic signal cabinet, and increased visibility street name signs with an estimated amount of $1,772.73 to be reimbursed to the state of Illinois for the removal and replacement of emergency vehicle preemption devices. To waive competitive bidding due to the purchasing of a joint governmental or cooperative purchasing program, authorize the purchase of 2 trucks from Rush Truck Center in Springfield in the amount of $232,252.82, and authorize the purchase and delivery of 2 truck prep packages from Henderson Products of Huntley in the amount of $359,548.41 for a total purchase price of $589,587.23.
Any comments or questions from anyone in the audience with regard to these matters? Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, did that say that the village was going to buy the American Dance Center?
We have a letter of intent. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just want to make sure I did it.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Board comments? Trustee Harris-Jones? Trustee Willis? Trustee Heiferman? Trustee Simpson?
No questions answered, sir.
Trustee Mason?
Two questions, and, letter B, how long, what is the length of the agreement for the letter of intent? How long do we have?
Was it, I believe, 60 days?
60 days?
60 days.
And during that time, I know that they cannot market or look for bids, but if someone approaches them, can they refuse a sale?
So it's our understanding that the letter of intent, and they agreed, let me back up a little bit. So we broached this letter of intent idea with Valaris, who are the owners of the property, and they actually signed the letter of intent. So inside your document, inside the agenda document, you'll see a signed copy. So they've already agreed to give us this opportunity, kind of perform some due diligence, take a look at the building, evaluate the building, then we would go back to them and kind of try to negotiate a equitable deal to purchase the building.
But in answer to your question, Trustee Mason, during that 60-day period, they're not to market it to anybody else, and they should turn that down because they're negotiating with the village.
Okay.
This is not an agreement to purchase the building, it's really an exploration at this point to see whether or not the village and the property owner can come to an agreement.
Understood. I was just trying to determine if there was another party that decided to investigate that building, would they be able to approach the Valaris and say, we'd like to make an offer?
Not no 60 days.
Not within those 60 days, okay. The second one was with the agreement with the traffic signal improvement. Are the EVPs, are those ours?
It's part of their, excuse me, it's part of our agreement with the state to maintain the traffic signals. So with the
Right.
upgrade, the state is taking on the burden of $454,000
Right.
to do the improvements. Once they put everything back, it's just part of, again, of our agreement in maintaining those signal beacons, that they would put them back up, we just aren't paying for that one.
I mean, it's a small amount. I just was wondering why, if they're gonna spend $500,000 to update everything, why they're not doing that as well? I didn't know if we owned them, if they were ours. It's just an agreement.
It's part of the maintenance agreement for our traffic signals throughout Homewood.
Perfect. Thank you.
And as a note, we only have one of the 4 intersections. The others are Chicago Heights and Cook County.
Gotcha, okay. Because they're a total of 5.
There's four signals. We have the one on the northeast corner.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, I got you.
Trustee Roman?
Nothing from me?
Okay. I have a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda, please.
So moved?
Second.
Been moved by Trustee Roman, seconded by Trustee Simpson. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris Jones?
Aye.
Trustee Lewis? Trustee Heisterman?
Aye.
Trustee Kingston?
Aye.
Trustee Mason?
Aye.
Trustee Roman?
Aye.
The consent agenda is approved. Old business, Ms. Zakowski.
So tonight we are looking for some board direction as to which option to move forward with as we look to complete our water rate study. So at our last meeting, we had Dave Nauman from Burns McDonnell present kind of the current status of the water rate study and 3 options that would get us the additional revenue needed to perform the normal operations and capital projects that we have within our water fund. So we have Dave available via Zoom if there's any questions that the board may have that we can't answer here. Sure.
I don't think the microphone's up.
Dave, can you hear us?
I can hear you, I can hear her. Thank you.
Wait a minute, let's see where Dave is. Dave, can you hear us?
Well, Amy will be answering all of the questions.
so.
She's gone over it often enough. As Amy had said, this was brought before the board at the last meeting. We've had several meetings on this. What we're looking at is some equitable, the most equitable way to have water rate increases to benefit our capital improvements for the water system. I think that's the easiest way of saying it. What we had looked at, if you would go over option 1, 2, and 3, please.
Sure.
Amy, real quick. Dave, can you hear us?
No.
You can hear us.
Mute.
I believe you're muted, Dave. Let me see if I can unmute him. No? Anything?
No,
No.
still don't hear.
Okay, go right ahead. Options
So-
1, 2, and 3, please.
Yes, so as I mentioned, all 3 options will increase the revenue, generate additional revenue for the village, 7.75% increase in revenue. So option 1 would essentially keep our same structure for rates in place. It would just increase the admin fee by 7.75% and also the rate per 1,000 gallons by 7.75%. There's no different rates charged to residents versus non-residential. It's just across the board increase of 7.75%. Option 2 introduces a change in the service charge or admin fee. It would be based off of meter size. So it's kind of a graduating increase in cost based off of meter size. So the larger meter you have, the more stress you put on the water system, therefore we would be charging a higher fixed rate per monthly bill.
And who would those larger water meters users be?
They're mostly our industrial or larger commercial properties. And then we have option 3. Oh, and then within option 2, the rate per 1,000 gallon would increase as well, but it wouldn't be as much as you would see in option 1 because some of that revenue would be captured through the fixed rate. So it wouldn't have to be through the volumetric rate. And then in option 3, similar to option 2, we would have a fixed rate based off of meter size, but there's a kind of a tiered rate structure. So usage up to 2,000 gallons would be charged at a lower rate than usage above 2,000 gallons. So the more water you use, you would be paying a little bit more. And then in option 3, the non-residential customers would be paying the higher rate no matter the usage.
Okay, as has been said, this was first presented before the board at our April 22nd meeting. It was then presented with the options on our July 8th meeting. And tonight we're here for the board to make a decision as to which option should be pursued. Any comments or questions from anyone in the audience? If not, any kind of question from the board? Trustee Harris-Jones.
I reviewed the study that was presented from the village staff and Barnes McDonald's, and I concur with what you guys suggest for option 2.
Trustee Willis.
Yeah, it seems that option 2 provides a more stable, predictable revenue source without such a great impact on the residents' bills. So I think that's the best option, in my view.
Trustee Eifferman.
I like option 2, also higher fixed. I'd like to see higher fixed and then variable be lower. And will we see a few models of rates when you present?
I'm not sure that would be any.
For usage.
That was I believe that was in the presentation.
When we see, when
In the
rates are
actual
presented to us.
report?
Yes.
I believe so. Dave can give us a nod.
Dave, are you there at all?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Dave, did you hear the question? Would there be a model in the final report that would drill down to kind of show what the rates would be for general users?
Under option 2.
I'm sorry, say that again.
So the final report, would there be any type of demonstration that showed what the rates would be for, let's say, a residential user of 4,000 gallon, a user of 6,000 gallon?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we'll have schedules that demonstrate impacts to ratepayers.
Trustee Simpson.
I think I talked before about the critical importance of safe water, efficiency, all that. And that comes from investing, and it has to be done, and I believe option 2 is the best choice.
Trustee Mason.
I'm in agreement with my colleagues. I think option 2. I really liked option 3 because of the lower costs, the lower impact to the residents, but I think it also provides the most volatility and stability of the rates. There's a lot of variables that can cause us not to reach what we predict. So I like option 2.
Trustee Roman.
I do have a question, and it's not gonna determine I also agree that option 2, but I do want to kind of fill in some blanks here from what happened with the information that was provided to us from the last meeting. But then I have a question. So what determines meter size? Is it the size of the home? like, if we're strictly talking about residential, a follow-up email that was sent to us said that 94% of the residential accounts have a meter that is less than 1 inch. So those 6% of residential homes, are they just larger homes in our community, or they have a swimming pool? I didn't even think about that.
Number of bathrooms, do they have a sprinkler, non-sprinkler?
Got it.
Their yard?
Yep,
Swimming
water
pools.
usage.
Swimming pools.
Okay.
Based on demand.
Right, okay, makes sense. So I do wanna share that that you guys provided the additional information to us that, a few of the homeowner association communities that we were talking about, those are individually metered, so those would be considered single-family residents, so they would not have the larger impact that we thought that they might have. And that 90% of our village accounts are residential, and like I just said, 94% of those 90% have a 1 inch meter.
Which
So-
there's no change to the fixed fee. It would go up by the 7.75%, that's it.
Right. So, thank you very much for all of that additional information, and that makes me feel comfortable going with the option number 2.
Okay, with that being said, may I have a motion to direct staff to pursue option 2, please?
So,
It's been moved by trustee Mason, seconded by trustee Willis. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris-Jones? Aye. Trustee Willis? Aye. Trustee Heitler?
Aye.
Trustee Simpson? Aye. Trustee Mason?
aye.
And Trustee Rowland?
Aye.
Motion is approved. Thank you, Ms. Sikowski. And now the moment we've been waiting for, the bid opening for 18155 Dixie Highway. Mr. Schumer, how many bids have we received?
We've received 3 bids.
Okay, and if you would open them, please.
Absolutely. Would you like me to provide an introduction to the project?
Please do.
So this is just as an introduction, this is a bid opening for 18155 Dixie Highway, the former Delano's Pizza, which is a property that the village has owned for some time now. It is not in a TIF district, so the village has 2 options. It can either sell it at 80% of appraised value, which is approximately $104,000, or option 2, which is to conduct a bid process where the proposal or the solicitation of bids is advertised 3 times. And then there is this process, which is the opening of sealed bids and at a public meeting. So the board directed staff to notice for that solicitation of bids and receive bids. And in that process, we received 3 bids for that property, which is what we'll be opening this evening.
Go right ahead.
Excellent. You must forgive me, these are very well sealed, so some of these may take a moment to, you can see they are not opened at any point. We are all finding this out for the first time together, so.
That's sealed bid.
Correct.
This is so exciting. Everybody wants there to be a Trader Joe's in them. Not big enough, it's not big enough, we need better.
Now you'll have a drum roll.
Who is the bid from?
All right. The bid is from Bawadi Construction.
Intended use?
That is what I am searching for in the materials that they provided. Their intended use is for the establishment of a Mediterranean restaurant. Bawadi has presented an offer of $4,000 for the purchase of the property.
Okay, that's number 1.
All right, this one is even more well sealed, so I'm gonna try to, it might be slightly more violent. I'm okay. No. Let's avoid any questions. I'll avoid using a knife up here. All right. The second bid is from a Mike Hussein. This bid is for is for $50,000 in purchase price, and the goal, in their intended use is a Southern Asian restaurant.
No, just to clarify, was that 50,000?
50,000, 50,000. The third bid is from Eric Baker. It is a bid for $1,000 to purchase the property, to create a soft play facility for children 7 and under. Those are the 3 bids that have been provided for this property.
Okay. With that, may I have a motion from the staff, from the board, to direct staff to evaluate these three bids and make a recommendation to the board?
So moved.
It's been moved by trustee Roman, seconded by trustee Harris Jones. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris-Jones?
Aye.
Trustee Willis? Aye. Trustee Heisterman?
Aye.
Trustee Simpson?
Aye.
Trustee Mason?
Aye.
Trustee Roman?
Aye.
Motion is approved. Thank you, sir. General board discussion. Trustee Harris Jones.
I would like to thank everyone for coming out this evening to attend our meeting. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Trustee Willis.
I just want to say I'm relieved that we heard from the residents that no one was hurt. And I'm glad to see that residents are working together to address the problem. Neighbors working together can make a big difference. Working together with the police will make an even bigger difference. So I'm confident that will happen, and I want you all to feel safe in your neighborhood.
Trustee Heisterman.
Likewise.
Trustee Simpson.
Unfortunate incident that happened. I appreciate the community coming out, and I have nothing but confidence in Chief McGrath and her staff that she will address this as she always done. I've known her and worked with her for over 30 years. She was my boss when I was in charge of the investigations. So I know how she runs her department, and her staff and her detectives are top notch. And rest assured, she will get to the bottom of this and communicate and partner very well with you guys, so.
Trustee Mason.
Couple of things my colleagues have already stated, and I'm totally in agreement. I love how the community comes together to solve these problems and to work towards a solution. It's nothing that any of us want more than a safe home would for everybody. And so we will definitely be actively involved. I'd like to possibly even come out to one of the community meetings just to be apprised of the progress that you're making and some of the solutions. And another head couldn't hurt if I've got a couple of ideas rattling around up there, I'll spit them out. But it's an unfortunate incident and something that we definitely take very seriously and want to get a handle on really quickly. This is too great of a community to allow time to pass and potentially have this happen again. So thank you guys all for coming out and voicing your opinions and giving feedback on potential solutions. Secondly, I just want to make all of our residents aware that the next couple of days we've got excessive heat warnings. So be very careful. Make sure you are checking on elderly residents or family, friends, neighbors. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Stay inside if you can. And if you have to stay inside and can't get anywhere where you may have some air conditioning, keep your blinds, your drapes, closed. Crack your windows a little bit. You need to have some air circulation in there, but that'll help keep the temperatures down. And most importantly, don't leave any children or pets in cars unattended, even for a minute, because it takes very little time for them to be overcome. So if I see any pets or kids in cars, I'm gonna break the window. Is that right, Patrick?
No, I don't think Chief McGrath would appreciate that.
No, but please be very careful.
She's gonna be busy.
Be aware of the conditions and check on your neighbors. Thank you.
Trustee Roman.
I echo a lot of what has already been said. Thank you all for coming here. we all are residents here, and I got very emotional when you were talking, Maggie, because, I have 3 little kids too. So I probably won't be able to say very much, but I have the exact same concerns. My husband and I have the exact same conversation. How many times is this gonna happen before a child gets hit with a stray bullet? So, I think it's just the mom, right? Like, I got very emotional, and I'm obviously getting emotional now. But I will also echo that I do have complete faith in our police department. I think we have a phenomenal police department. I think that they take every issue that happens in our community very seriously. And we get notified when there's critical incidents, and I can't think of anything that has happened on my time on the board here in our community that was a major crime that happened in our community that our police department didn't solve. They're very talented. We have great staff, we have great leadership, and I have full faith in them. So I think that what someone else said, I think the neighborhood watch group is amazing. Please keep doing that. We all, I think, would be willing to attend your meetings. The reason that there were not more of us at the meeting at James Hart is because we can't violate the Open Meetings Act. There can't be more than 2 of us at a meeting at a time. And Trustee Open attended that meeting as well as Rich Hopewell, so we couldn't have more, but we can rotate. We want you to know that we care and that we want to be involved in coming to a solution as much as you all do, because this is our community too, and we all have to protect it. So thank you very much for being here and for giving all of your comments.
I'll be a bit more succinct. This is Homewood. We're not going to tolerate things like this. Whatever the police need, you ask for it, you have it. We're not going to tolerate it, simply stated. With that, may I have a motion to enter into an executive session to discuss the purchase or lease of real property?
Second.
It's been moved by Trustee Simpson, seconded by Trustee Roman. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris-Jones? Aye. Trustee Willis? Aye. Trustee Heisterman?
Aye.
Trustee Simpson?
Aye.
Trustee Mason?
Aye.
Trustee Roman?
Aye.
We'll take a short recess. Thank you all for being here.